My dear students, in this class, let us learn about the general characters and classification of Coelenterata. Phylum Coelenterata is also known as Cnidaria. Hydra, jellyfishes, and coral producing organisms are included under phylum Coelenterata. And these coelenterates are diploblastic in nature. That means the body wall of coelenterates contain two layers, namely ectoderm and endoderm. In between ectoderm and endoderm, there is a jelly like layer which looks like a fluid, and that layer is called mesoglia. This is not identical to the mesoderm. There is no third germinal layer still in coelenterates. But there is some jelly like substance in between ectoderm and endoderm, and this jelly like substance is called mesoglia. And in some coelenterates, this mesoglia is so extensively developed, as a result, they come to be known as jellyfishes. So, like that, jellyfishes, which are like umbrella, and hydra, which looks like a cylindrical vase, are included under this phylum Coelenterata. And because of the diploblastic nature, the coelenterates exhibit radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is a symmetry when the animal is cut into two equal halves along any axis other than voronal axis. That means in radial symmetry, the animal can be cut into two equal halves along any axis other than voronal axis. So, like that, coelenterates exhibit radial symmetry. And these coelenterates are also called stinging animalcules. Why these are called stinging animalcules? We will learn in the subsequent slides. So, here the slide goes like this. Coelenterates are also called cnidarians and they are diploblastic in nature. Mesoglia is extensively developed, and jellyfishes are the best example for coelenterates. And here you can see the beautiful jellyfish. It looks like an umbrella floating in the water. And you can also see the tentacles. Tentacles are the locomotory organs found in coelenterates. And these tentacles are also found in case of hydra. So in hydra, the mouth is situated on the elevation called hypostome. Hypostome is the elevation that is present at the anterior side of the hydra on which mouth is situated. And surrounding the mouth, there are various tentacles, and these tentacles are responsible for locomotion and also for capturing the prey. So that is about this jellyfish and hydra. And coming to the cavity that is present inside the coelenterates or inside the hydra, that cavity is called coelenteron because it functions like intestine. It is called enteron. Enteron means intestine. Because it's a cavity, it's called coelom. But this is not the coelom, of course, because the concept of coelom comes only with the evolution of mesoderm. Here the mesoderm is not at all found. So this is only a simple cavity that is functioning like intestine, hence it is known as coelenteron. And this is also called gastrovascular cavity because in coelenterates the digestion takes place inside this coelenteron, and it is being supplied. This digested food material is supplied again by the activity of coelenteron. That means coelenteron is compensating the loss of both digestive system and vascular system. Hence, the coelenteron in case of coelenterates is known as gastrovascular cavity because of its dual function, namely digestion and circulation. And here there is one important point. Because the digestion is taking place in the coelenteron, the digestion is said to be extracellular in coelenterates. But in coelenteron, the digestion is partly completed. It's only partially completed. And this partially digested food will be absorbed into certain nutritive cells that are lining the gastrodermis, and the further digestion takes place inside the cell. That means even intracellular digestion is also taking place in coelenterates. So we can say that coelenterates exhibit both extracellular digestion and intracellular digestion. So in any coelenterate, first extracellular digestion takes place and it's partially completed. Now this partially digested food will be absorbed by the nutritive cells that are lining the gastrodermis, and the remaining part of the digestion is completed within the cell. So we can say that coelenterates form the connecting link between extracellular digestion and intracellular digestion. There is a clear cut evolution how the extracellular digestion has developed from intracellular digestion. Intracellular digestion is the most primitive type of digestion, whereas extracellular digestion is the most advanced type of digestion. And there is one disadvantage in coelenteron. For example, if we take any coelom has got two openings, namely mouth and anus, mouth or cloaca like that. Whereas in case of hydra, which contains coelenteron has got only one opening at the anterior end, that is mouth. As there is only one opening, namely mouth, these coelenterates have to feed through mouth and have to adjust through mouth. That means both feeding and adjustion take place through mouth only. As a result, hydra cannot feed while adjusting, and it cannot adjust while devouring the prey or while performing ingestion. This is the greatest disadvantage of coelenteron because of only one opening. And nerve net is found. This is very important bit for NEET. In the entire animal kingdom, for the first time, the nervous system has made its appearance in the coelenterates. That too, it is in the form of nerve net. The nervous system in hydra is called diffuse nervous system. And there are certain specialized cells in hydra and also in jellyfish that are used for stinging other organisms. And these cells are called nematocysts. Group of nematocysts are called batteries. And nematocysts contain certain needle-like structures and coiled thread-like structures. And apart from that, there is some poison. The name of that poison is displayed in this slide, and that is nothing but hypnotoxin. So because of the presence of nematocysts, they sting other animals, other prey animals. As a result, coelenterates are called stinging animalcules. You try to remember this terminology. Coelenterates are called stinging animalcules. And hypnotoxin is the toxin that is inducing sleep in victim. But there are certain deadliest coelenterates, like jellyfishes. In jellyfishes, there is one variety called Chironex flackeri, which is the deadliest coelenterates. Its poison is more deadlier than sea snakes. So, deadliest coelenterates are there. I don't mean that all jellyfishes are poisonous or deadly poisonous, but there are certain jellyfishes like Chironex flackeri which are deadliest. Here you can see the structure of nematocysts. There is nidocele, operculum, coiled thread-like structures, and you can also see the barbs that are associated with this nematocysts. And of course, excretion takes through general body surface. And there are two stages. There are two stages in the life history of coelenterates, namely polyp and medusa. Polyp is cylindrical in shape, whereas medusa is saucer shaped or umbrella shaped. And in some coelenterates, there are many zooids. Zooid means individual member of a colony. If there are two zooids, it is called dimorphic colony. If there are three zooids, it is called trimorphic colony. If there are multiple zooids, it is called polymorphic colony. Presence of many zooids within the colony of a coelenterate is called polymorphism. And whatever may be, the most predominant zooids are polyp and medusa. And in the life cycle of coelenterates, polyp stage alternates with the medusa stage, and this is called metagenesis or alternation of generation. And development is indirect, of course. Development includes typical larva of coelenterate, that is planula. And apart from planula, there are certain other larval stages like ephyra and scyphistoma. Typical larva of coelenterate is planula, and there are other larval stages like ephyra and scyphistoma. And certain coelenterates secrete calcium carbonate exoskeletal structures. Certain coelenterates secrete calcium carbonate exoskeletal structures, and these are called corals, coral reefs. And the Great Barrier Reef of Australia is the biggest coral reef in the world. And Coelenterates are divided into three classes. Here in this slide, you can see the different corals. Of course, corals are nothing but calcium carbonate exoskeletal structures that are secreted by certain coelenterates like hydrozoa and anthozoa. Majority of the corals come from anthozoa. So let me repeat, the Coelenterata is divided into three classes, namely hydrozoa, scyphozoa and anthozoa. Anthozoa is also referred to as actinozoa. Hydra, Obelia, Physalia are included under hydrozoa. Hydra is called freshwater polyp. Obelia is commonly called seafer. Physalia is called Portuguese man of war. And coming to Scyphozoa, the members of Scyphozoa are called jellyfishes collectively. Aurelia is the best example. Aurelia is also called jellyfish or moon jelly. And coming to Anthozoa, Anthozoans are commonly referred to as sea anemones. And there are many Anthozoans that secrete corals, of course. Adamsia is called sea anemone. Corallium rubrum is called precious red stone. Gorgonia is called sea fan. Pennatula is called sea fan. And apart from this Coelenterata, there is one more group of animals called Ctenophora, which are the close relatives of cnidarians. And these ctenophores are also called sea walnuts or comb jellies or sea gooseberries. And they exhibit certain plates called comb plates, and they exhibit certain cells called lasso cells or colloblasts. And ctenophores also exhibit bioluminescence. And lastly, the larva of ctenophores is called cydipid larva. The larva of ctenophores is called cydipid larva. So anyway, this is about Coelenterata and Ctenophora, and here you can see the great Australian barrier reef. So meet you in another class with some other phylum. Thank you very much.